it's when you're not winning. I mean, truthfully, that at the end of the day, that's my determining factor of if I play well or not is are we winning the football game, because that's all that matters to me. And so, I'm not completing enough passes. Am I getting us in the right play call? Am I not? I mean, there's a myriad of issues, in my opinion, that aren't helping us win the game. And it could be something different all the time, but I just have to play well enough to help us win a football game, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters.
Everybody, welcome to the Matchup Show presented by POWERHOME Solar. Grab your best festive mugs, or in Pom's case, a nice bottle of wine. Let's introduce you to our panel today to talk Steelers and Colts. Greg Wolfley is on hand from Steelers Nation Radio and also DVE. Bob Pompeani, as I said, looking festive as always, ready for the Masters. And Arthur Moats, former Steelers outside linebacker and Hall of Famer. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. And hopefully it is a good gift the Steelers will be giving Steelers Nation on Sunday. So you heard from Ben Roethlisberger there. When you have lost 3 in a row, guys, it feels like everything is going wrong. A lot of things to fix and work on as they get ready for this game. The Colts are 10-4, and it is Phillip Rivers with a new team versus Ben Roethlisberger. So, Wolf, which team depends more on better quarterback play?
You look at both these offenses, they are both weigh heavily on some excellent quarterback play, and that would be for Phillip Rivers, for Ben Roethlisberger. These are very similar offenses when you look at them. They go with the 1 tight end, 2 tight end, the wham, some of the traps, the short controlled passing game, the throw it short, run long passing game type of affair. So both teams are really, it's going to come down, if you ask me, my most humble opinion, it's going to be about who wins the trenches, who's able to run the ball, because Jonathan Taylor is very capable, and the Steelers need to have some sort of running game to counterbalance all the passing that's been going on and the not so good passing.
Pomp, these two will forever be connected from that 2004 draft class. Eli Manning was with them. He has since retired. And when you look at their career numbers and what they've done, of course, we know that Rivers is now with the new team. And do you think this gives Ben Roethlisberger a little extra edge? Yes, they need the win no matter what, but you're going against Phillip Rivers.
I think Ben Roethlisberger's, Missy, probably the most competitive person that I've met in sports. And I know this is driving him nuts. He used the term frustrating last weekend. Yeah, I think these head-to-head matchups matter to these quarterbacks. I do. I think Rivers is benefiting from having a better team. I think this defense they have in Indianapolis is really good. They turn the ball over, and they make life a little easier on the offense. I don't think he had that all the time when playing in San Diego/LA. And he also has a really good run game, and play action works when the run game is moving. And Jonathan Taylor has made it move. Nyheim Hines is really good. So if they have that aspect moving, it helps them. But I agree with Wolf. The trenches are going to be the key to this. The Steelers have got to come up with something that helps Ben Roethlisberger make the plays down the field. So therein lies, I think, the number one key to this game. But I agree, Missy. I think these two quarterbacks, this is a competitive thing. Right into the league at the same time, somebody wants to win this battle.
They have met 6 times, Arthur, going head-to-head in their careers, including the playoffs. 3 wins for each quarterback. Does that make this one mean a little bit more, knowing that they are in the latter portion of their careers?
Without a doubt, when you talk about just the history between those two guys, sharing the draft class and stuff like that, and literally being split down the middle in terms of wins and losses against each other, you always want to find a way to one-up that guy. You always want to be that one who, whenever we both retire, if it's this year, next year, 3 years down the line, who knows when, I'm going to make sure that I've beaten you more than you've beaten me. So without a doubt, Ben is definitely going to be amped up and ready to go with this one.
Wolf, what does Ben need to do in this game for the Steelers to be successful, knowing they're going against a top 10 defense?
When you look at it and you kind of weigh out all the baloney that surrounds a lot of the hoopla going on, it's just about Ben being Ben. It really is. Look, I was with Terry Bradshaw in the latter stages of his career, and one of the things that I found fascinating about the guy, his bounceability. You can talk about the statistics, you can talk about when things are down and, one loss and all this and that, but it always comes down to, do you have that Hall of Fame guy in the huddle who inspires the other 10 people surrounding him that they can come out and get it done regardless? And look, Ben's not perfect. Ben's not immortal, and Ben's not a guy that can stand alone out there. But he is a central key figure in getting it done. And I know this cat can do it. I really believe. I watched this. I've been fortunate now, aside from this year, to have watched every single game of his in the pros from the sidelines. And he has always responded at some point in time during a game, during a quarter, what have you, a series or a season when things haven't been going well. He'll pull it out and get the job done. And it starts with the power of one. Complete that first pass, get that first down, and then things start to roll from there. But you got to have faith, and the rest of the guys got to buy in, and I know the rest of the guys do.
Pomp, in your opinion, does it help that the Colts are a 10-4 team coming in here? Ben has had success against this team. I even go back to 2019. It was Mason Rudolph starting at quarterback. The Steelers desperately needed that win and just the excitement that it brought. Of course, Mika Fitzpatrick had that pick 6. But Coach alluded to it, we're up for the challenge, and this is something that we typically see the Steelers get up for.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the fact that both teams have a lot riding on this one. The Steelers really, would love a mulligan based on what happened in Cincinnati. They wanted to wrap things up and control things a little bit more, but since they haven't, this is the kind of game that can inspire the juices to flow, especially because you don't want to get into that last game having the division potentially on the line. I think the key to Ben Roethlisberger is just avoiding the turnover. At the beginning of the year when they were rattling off win after win, there were not turnovers. I think last week you saw what happened, 17 points right off the bat. They only managed 68 yards on those 3 possessions. And that's, the defense bailing them out to some degree. But this defense is still good enough, I think, to slow teams down. But the mistakes are going to be who, is going to win this game. You got to limit those mistakes. You've got to give your defense a chance, and you got to complete drives. The other thing, Missy, man, it's been a long time since we've seen first possession points. It's been 8 games, in fact. The Steelers have not done anything. They've punted a lot. They've fumbled a lot. They got to start faster, in my opinion.
Moats, I know you were motivating us on Monday. James Conner looks like he is working himself back to be available on Sunday. We saw what Benny Snell did. Is that giving you some extra motivation going into this game, that is something that can help Ben?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Wolf hit on it earlier when he talked about how both of these teams are very similar. The biggest difference to me is in terms of the Colts, they have a effective running game where they can lean on these backs, even before Jonathan Taylor took over and it was Marlon Mack. So when I'm seeing Benny Snell come off the performance that he did against the Bengals and saw how at times it really brought the offense to life, you have to assume that bringing James into that mix as well is only going to make it that much better. Now, I'll be interested to see in terms of the lineup and the offensive line, because last week, obviously, we used a couple of guards at the left guard spot. Obviously, Derwin Gray came in and played well. But, man, I just want to see that combination up front and if they can continue that type of momentum that they had, because that was huge. And if they can do that, that's going to be monumental in this game, because the Colts secondary is definitely their weakest part of that defense, but their front seven, they're pretty stout. So it's going to be important to win that line of scrimmage.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break here on the matchup show. As we head to break, here is a look at the head-to-head numbers between Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers. Getting ready for Steelers and Colts Sunday at Heinz Field, the last regular season home game, 1 p.m. We will be right back to talk defense. Welcome back to the matchup show presented by POWERHOME Solar. Time to talk a little defense. A lot of discussion in our first segment about Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers and what will they be facing. Let's get into it. Wolf, the good news is Vince Williams is off of the COVID-19 list. Hopefully they will see him return to the lineup. Cam Hayward, defensive captain, talked about it yesterday and just how much the Steelers missed him in terms of his play and communication. Getting Vince back, how much does that help this defense?
I think it's ginormous. Number one, Vinny is a downhill banger that really creates a lot of mayhem for the offense. Number two is he's the guy that really is great at making sure everybody's in alignment, everybody's copacetic, everybody understands, if there would be a God forbid, an option this week, which I can't see. All right, but do we have the mesh point covered? Do we have the assignments down? Those are the things that Vinny is fully capable of doing what you really want from him. And he is part of that shall we say, that energy bringer. Arthur, you know energy. That's an energy bringer. You bring that to your defense. And when things get a little tough, he's one of those guys that always steps forward to answer the bell. You got to respect guys like that. I think what Vinny brings, you can't quantify in just sheer statistics. It happens also in the huddle.
Pomp, they are also
this as well.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Moats.
Oh yeah, I was gonna also say this. Not only talk about Vince's toughness, but you got to think what it's gonna do for the inside linebacker position as well. These past 2 weeks, Avery Williamson, who was only on the team for 4 or 5 weeks now, had to wear the green dot and make the call. So instead of him just being able to relax and worry about his play, he's having to be the guy that's communicating, thinking about everything and not getting a chance to just get comfortable and acclimated. Then also you think about Marcus Allen. He's a guy that is right now at this stage in his career more situated for passing downs, situational downs. He has had to play a bulk of base personnel downs as well. So now that's going to lighten his load and put him back in a scenario where he can really thrive. So Vince coming back, man, I think that's going to be a huge asset for this defense.
We talk so much about the Steelers defense, Pomp, and how well they do. The Indy Colts can say the same thing about them. DeForest Bunker, somebody that they traded for, leads the team with 24 quarterback hits, tied for first in sacks for the Colts. What are you seeing from this team and the challenges that will present to Ben Roethlisberger and company?
Well, yeah, Missy, I think that's, again, we're talking about trench warfare here. This is where it all starts on both sides. And since we're talking about this side, the Steelers have got to do well. And I think, this is the week where they're going to have to start expanding this passing game. Teams know that the underneath stuff is coming. They have to hit on some down the field. That requires 5-step drops. That requires holding on to your guy longer so there's protection in the pocket. And this team, Indianapolis, is good at getting after quarterbacks. They are. So that's going to be the number one key there. As far as the Steelers on the other side of it, yeah, Vince Williams is a big miss. They missed him for 2 weeks. They certainly missed just healthy bodies. If Devin Bush had been there, I think this whole thing would be a little bit different. But, so it is. Life in the NFL, as Mike Tomlin says. But I think Phillip Rivers is the same thing. He's a target in that pocket. If you can get there, you can make some plays. And, again, it's how quarterbacks hold on to the ball. But both these defenses are good, Missy, and I think you're going to see them come after the quarterback. Who preserves it better is going to be the team that probably wins.
Moats, according to NFL research, the Colts play more zone coverage. For Ben Roethlisberger, better completions, but in terms of maybe the interceptions, that's where he kind of gets into trouble. So how do you see this matchup playing out on Sunday?
Man, well, for me, I love this opportunity for Ben, especially versus zone concepts, because now you're just talking about receivers finding holes, sitting down, which they do a great job of anyways. And for Ben, last week he got fooled a little bit with some of the coverages, but as a 17-year vet, you're not going to fool this guy consistently. So if you sit there and allow them to just play zone and him just pick you apart, I think that's going to be a great situation for them. But the biggest thing, like Pomp said, you have to protect him, because this Colts front, they get after the quarterback. I mean, these teams are constructed almost identically in terms of being built from the line of scrimmages out. So it's going to be important to protect them. But if he's going against that zone all day, I feel like he's going to have a really, really good day versus them.
All right, guys, we're going to take one more break here on the Matchup Show. When we return, I'll get your keys to the games. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Matchup Show, everyone. Let's take a look at the career numbers for Ben Roethlisberger and Phillip Rivers as we get ready for Week 16. Believe it or not, does not even seem possible. This is actually the head-to-head records. Both quarterbacks with 3 wins when facing each other in both the regular season and the postseason. We will see who gets to 4 on Sunday. It is time now for our keys to the game, presented by your local neighborhood Ford store. Okay, Wolf, hit it for us. Tell us your key to Sunday.
Real simple, Missy. When the kickoff goes, I'm going to be playing the Rolling Stones. Start me up, baby. Bob Pompeani was exactly correct. 8 games, no points on the opening drive. 5 games, no points in the opening quarter. Against the Bengals, it took 6 series to get a first down. They got to get something cooking in the first series, very first series of the game. Second thing is you got to win the battle of the trenches. The big thing about that is you got DeForest Buckner, you got Anthony Costanzo and Quentin Nelson up front for the Colts. These guys are maulers. The close quarter combat that goes on in the inner trenches, you got to win that game. And thirdly, give me some explosive plays. Chase Claypool, get down the field, threaten those safeties. Gadzooks, man, give me some big plays.
All right, Pomp, you're up next. What is your key to Sunday?
Well, the key, that's my big key. Like Wolf said, and I said it earlier, this is scoring fast. We saw that Tennessee game, Missi, what it meant to come out, boom, 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 11 plays, I think it was, right down the field, take advantage of their defense, get on the board, make them come from behind. And I think the same is true here. Indianapolis is a team that really needs this game as much as the Steelers do. And so I think the key is starting fast, forcing Phillip Rivers to become one-dimensional if you can do that, and taking their run game away. That's huge. The other thing, and this is an obvious one, but it's true every week, if you don't turn the ball over, your chances of winning are much increased. And I think that's what they have to do, protect it, unlike what happened in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was definitely a killer for the Steelers against the Bengals on Monday night. Moats, give us your key to Sunday.
I like how you put me behind these awesome guys. I mean, Wolf gives me 3 keys.
You got to go first
Tom
last
gives
time.
me multiple keys. I'm like, y'all have listed off 10 keys before you even get to me here.
Everyone's just excited, for Sunday and for the holidays. So, yeah. Come on, Moats. You have to have something left. I know it.
Anywho, absolutely. I have 2 keys as well. So, for me, man, the first one is with our inside linebackers. Vince Williams and Avery Williamson being back out there together, they have to minimize Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. If they can minimize those guys both as runners and out the backfield with some of this open field tackling stuff, man, it will force Phillip Rivers to be one-dimensional. That's what Bob was talking about. If you force Phillip Rivers to have to throw that ball 40 times, he's not going to be able to beat you. He will make a mistake. But the thing that he's been able to do is stay on track and play action because their running game has been so good. So it's really going to be dependent upon our linebackers to minimize those guys. And then on the flip side, I'm having the same conversation with James Conner and Benny Snell versus Darius Leonard. We know that Darius is an all-pro linebacker. He's a guy that can go sideline to sideline, but he's built more for finesse than power. James and Benny have to make it physical with him. They have to make him not want to tackle. They have to make him uncomfortable for 4 quarters. And if they do that, I feel like that's a great scenario for us.
All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me here on the Matchup Show once again. Cheers, Pomp.
Cheers.
Can I get some of that in here? This is just coffee.
Yeah, here. There it goes. Yeah.
Oh, if the boxes were just a little reversed, we could have made this really interesting. All right, thanks again, guys. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. Steelers and Colts Sunday at Heinz Field. Get your game faces ready for that. We'll see everybody here next week.
What's up, Steeler Nation? It's your boy Juju Smith-Schuster here. Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the Steelers official YouTube channel. Thanks again. Here we go, Steelers.